Everyday superpower. We talk body language, relationships, game, everything in between. I got a good one for you today, people. We're going to continue on learning how to read the mind of others. Hold on tight, hold on tight. Bada bing, bada bum. Look at this. We got a flavor explosion over here. Yeah, I will tell you what. When you Google search people standing together or so, you can tell the corporations love this one. It's we tick every box of diversity in this one, people. So I'm going to talk about the feet. I'm going to talk about the feet. This is incredible information. This is information you need to know. This is information which will be the foundation of your understanding of what people think, whether they're attracted to you, whether they're repulsed by you, and so forth. Now, let me tell you one thing. These people posing for this image are posing for a camera. It's not completely organic behavior, but with that being said, it is also organic behavior because you can't fake body language. Because if these people are posing for a camera, there will be a non-congruence with their behavior, which showcases to us that they feel comfortable and it won't look like they're genuinely posing. Like they're still going to tell us the truth of where their mind is, whether they're putting on an act or not, which is the incredible thing. But we're going to try highlight the feet today. Non-verbal communication, body language, yeah? Hold on. So, the feet are the part of our body that exists the furthest from the brain. With that being said, that means that the feet are the most honest. So, gestures that stem from the feet, and maybe the calves and maybe the thighs and so forth, are going to be more honest than that which reside at the top half of our body. Okay? Because as always, out of sight, out of mind, we can't consciously be paying attention to what our feet are doing 24 hours a day. Our unconscious and our subconscious will express valuable and fantastic messages through them. And I'm going to break down the image before you. We're going to go into some depth. I'll actually show you a lot more what's going on. So hold on for that. Now, we walk towards that which we are attracted to. We go towards that which we are attracted to, and we are repulsed and walk away from that which we are not attracted to, that we are repulsed by, right? It seems simple enough, right? But people need to understand these basics. This is a biological reality. It's the pain and pleasure principle, right? If I see a car coming towards me that might hit me, I'm probably going to walk away from it. I'm not going to walk towards it. My feet are going to be walking away from that. If I see someone who might potentially be I don't want to use harsh words here, but, a sexual offender, especially as a woman, I am going to walk away from that person. I'm going to distance myself from that person. I'm not going to get close to that person. Now, with the duality, as Carl Jung put it, the principle of opposites, we have to take into consideration that there's an opposite to this. That which we are attracted to, so instead of that speeding car, we've got, a donut stall. I'm so hungry, I want donuts. I'm going to be attracted to it. A handsome man I want to engage with, who I've known for a few weeks now, I'm going to want to go towards it as opposed to away from it, because I want to open myself up to the possibilities of this person taking me on a date, or it makes me feel good as a human being. It creates joy in a world of not so joyful energy. It's addictive. So our feet will point towards that which we are attracted to and away from that which we are repulsed by. And I speak wholeheartedly and honestly because I used to do sales in the streets. I used to do cold sales with people who didn't know me for 1 second. I would approach them, primarily women. Why the hell not? I got to speak to women all day, and generally speaking, they're easily persuaded in relation to a man who tends to be a bit more skeptical. So I would approach a woman with confidence, and I'd say, blah, 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 blah. Without long, her feet would show me as to whether she was wanting to stay there, and she was attracted to the conversation and in engagement with me, or her feet were going to point elsewhere. If not, one of her 2 feet were going to point elsewhere. That's what we call having one foot out the door. Have you ever heard that phrase before? Oh, they've got one foot out of the door. I.e., they're going to leave their job. I.e., they're going to leave the relationship. I.e., they've got somewhere else to be. They've got one foot out of the door, right? It manifests within the body non-verbally. Pay attention to the feet, yes? Arguably, pay attention to the feet before the rest of the body. When you're in a train station waiting to catch a train and it's busy, have a look at the environment. Bunch of different people, bunch of people having conversations. Look at where their feet are pointing and you will be surprised, right? Because you might catch some people facing this way with their body, but their feet or their leading foot is pointing towards you. Why? Why? It looks abnormal. It's because they're showing interest in you, but they can't really make it too clear. You know, just due to the societal norm, it would be rude to just stare at you, right? I'm putting you on game here. Look at the photo before you. I'm going to go through a couple of things, but we want to talk about the leading of the feet. The thing that caught my attention was the lady second to the left. She has cut off the rest of the crowd and isolated this man. Not only with her knee, but with her feet. She has created a diagonal line cutting him off from the rest of the people. If I was to see this in a general environment, I would think there's potential they were a couple, or she is so fascinated in engaging with him that she is cutting him off from their competition. Look at the woman at the front, white woman in the middle with her legs crossed, right? Her feet are pointing directly towards you. It would be silly of you to think she wasn't trying to engage with you or in engagement with you if you saw her just standing there looking at you like that, right? The feet highlight that. The feet accentuate that. The feet will do that before the rest of the body do. The rest of them are a little bit ajar. And as I said, on a side note, I'll reference a couple little bits of body language so you can learn a couple bits more. Look at the expansive behavior, right? 2 out of 3 of the women have got their legs closed, whereas 3 of 3 men have got their legs wide, exposing their genital, taking up more space. That's territorial positioning, right? That's masculine positioning, alpha behavior, right? The wider their legs are, the bolder their stance, the more space they take up, the more it shows you as a reader of body language that they feel subconsciously that they have the right to take up that space. All right? Pay attention. That's a story for another time. You can see discomfort seep through each of these as well. They are all pacifying themselves. They are all defensive. The first person's got his arms crossed, creating a barrier to his ventral side, i.e. his internal organs, because it would be, stupid of him in the face of a threat to expose that which gives him life. It's anti-predatory, it's a survival mechanism. The lady is holding on to her wrist, i.e. forearm, creating a barrier. Also, she's turned in. I mean, we spoke on it being in behalf of cutting him off. She could have turned either way. She could have shut him out. She's shutting someone off, creating that angle, but she's stopping access to her central side as well. It's defensive. The guy behind, arms crossed. The lady at the front, holding on to her hands, covering up her groinal area. The man at the back, little less obvious, but he's using one hand to hold on to the elbow of the other, if not the bottom of the forearm of the other. And the lady at the end is like the white girl at the front, covering up her genital area in fear that she might have a little bit hanging out, a little bit too loose for this photo because her shorts are as short as they are. I'm putting you on game on how to identify and read the minds of people just through looking at images, right? They didn't get told by the cameraman, oh yeah, cross your arms, oh yeah, hold on to yourself here, oh yeah, put your hands in front of your crotch. The cameraman didn't tell them these things. This is, people posing and reacting outside of their own conscious awareness, manifesting how they really feel. So pay attention to where the feet are pointing. When we were but mere primitive beings, we needed our feet to survive and escape predators. These procedures and mechanisms still reside within our brain. We didn't eliminate that which came before, we just built atop of it. So if anything, we overcomplicated our brain. We've got a ape living inside of our heads, as well as a human, as well as a reptilian, believe it or not. When we speak of the freeze, flight and fight responses, the feet are used when it comes to the freezing and the flight. I mean, don't get me wrong, we can kick away, but fight is a different kettle of fish in this particular case. Our feet will stop motionless when we see something that threatens us. Have you ever nearly been hit by a car? If we walk in the middle of the road and a car is coming our way, instead of jumping out of the way, we freeze in shock. Our feet don't cooperate. Whereas when we need to flee, are we going to do that on our hands and knees? No, we're going to do that through our feet. We're going to flee the situation. We're going to run away with our feet. Yes, we're going to fleet with the feet. So our feet are always interlinked with how we're feeling, where we want to go and where we don't want to go. I've been on a date when I was a lot younger, and I clocked into how I was. I just had a moment of clarity during conversation with this woman and found one of my feet pointing towards the exit. This is a thing. This is a manifest of how serious this shit is. If you're on a date with someone and you see her feet pointing towards the bar, pointing towards the toilet, pointing towards anywhere, you can just ask her, oh, do you want to nip to the loo for a minute? Oh, do you want another drink? And she will love you because you see the real her, and she will think and know, essentially, that you are on her wavelength because you're in complete awareness of who she is. She will feel validated and seen, right? Whereas nobody else can do that. Nobody else identifies that. That's cooperation. That's game. And this is important information. With that being said, I'm going to sign out. Click like and subscribe to learn how to read the minds of people. You won't learn that anywhere else, I'm telling you. Click like and subscribe. I'm signing out. Peace.